Hi, my name is Robert and I am 72 years old. For most of my life, I believed that the people closest to you would be the ones who understood you the most. I believed my family knew my sacrifices, my struggles, and the years of hard work I had given to build something meaningful. But I learned a painful lesson. Sometimes, the people who share your blood can be the same people who judge you the quickest. My daughter-in-law once stood outside my old warehouse, looked at the broken paint, the dusty windows, and the rusty doors, and laughed. She laughed as if she was looking at a useless piece of land. She laughed as if my entire life's work was nothing. What she didn't know was that behind those old walls was something she never expected, something that would change the way she saw me forever. But before that day came, she had to make one mistake. She had to believe that an old man like me had nothing left to offer. I spent over 40 years building my business from nothing. When I was young, I worked long days and slept very little. I started with a small repair shop and slowly grew it into something my family could depend on. That warehouse was not just a building to me. It held memories. Inside those walls were the first machines I ever bought, the first contracts I ever signed, the first moments when I realized my hard work was finally creating a future for my family. I never wanted my children to struggle the way I did. I wanted my son Daniel to have an easier life than mine. And for many years, I thought I had succeeded. Daniel grew up, went to college, and eventually married Emily. When they first got together, Emily seemed kind and respectful. She would visit me, ask about my health, and tell me how much she admired what I had built. But people can change when money becomes more important than relationships. After a few years of marriage, I noticed something different. Emily stopped asking about my life. She only asked about my possessions. She wanted to know what I planned to do with my warehouse. She wanted to know how much my property was worth. She started talking about my business as if it was already something that belonged to her. At first, I ignored it. I believed family disagreements could be solved with patience, but slowly her words became harder to ignore. "Robert," she once said, looking around my house, "don't you think it's time you let go of these old things?" I smiled and asked, "What old things?" She looked at me and said, "The warehouse, the equipment, all of this. You're not young anymore." Those words stayed with me, not because she mentioned my age, but because she said it like my age made me worthless. I had spent my whole life building things, and suddenly, someone was telling me I was only valuable if I could still produce money. I never argued with her. I simply listened. Family Karma Effect viewers, our channel currently has only 37 subscribers, and our next goal is to reach 50 subscribers. So please support us by subscribing to our channel. That was my mistake in her eyes. She thought my silence meant I was weak. She did not understand that silence can be the place where wisdom waits. A few months later, Daniel and Emily came to visit me. I thought it was just another family dinner. I was wrong. Emily started talking about the warehouse again. "Honestly, I don't understand why you keep that place," she said. "It's empty. It's old. It's probably worth nothing." I looked at my son. I expected him to defend me, but he stayed quiet. That silence hurt more than Emily's words. Then she laughed. She actually laughed. "You know, Robert," she said, "I think you're holding on to a dream that died years ago." I looked down at my hands. Those same hands had worked through injuries, long nights, and difficult years. Those same hands had paid for my son's education. Those same hands had helped my family live comfortably. But at that moment, they were treated like they had done nothing. I did not shout. I did not insult her back. I simply said, "One day you may understand why I kept it." Emily smiled. "I doubt that," she replied. She thought she had won. She thought she had proven that I was just an old man refusing to accept reality. But she did not know what was inside that warehouse. She did not know that years earlier, when my business was at its strongest, I made a decision that would protect my family's future. I had stored important records, equipment, and valuable assets there. The warehouse was never empty. It was simply waiting. Over the years, I had watched many people chase quick money. I watched businesses rise and fall because people cared more about appearances than patience. But I knew something important. Real value does not always look impressive from the outside. A diamond does not look special when it is covered in dirt. Great book does not lose its meaning because its cover becomes old. And a person does not lose their worth because they grow older. After Emily's cruel comments, I decided it was time to organize everything. I contacted my lawyer and reviewed all my documents. I made sure every record was clear. I was not planning revenge. I was protecting my life's work. A few weeks later, an opportunity came for the truth to be revealed. A business representative contacted me about the old warehouse. They had discovered the potential value of what I had preserved there. When Daniel and Emily heard about it, they were shocked. Suddenly, the same warehouse they called worthless became the place everyone wanted to discuss. We met at the warehouse one afternoon. Emily walked in expecting to see an abandoned building. Instead, she saw carefully protected equipment, valuable records, and documents proving the importance of what I had built. Her expression changed. For the first time in years, she had nothing to say. Daniel looked at me and whispered, "Dad, why didn't you tell us?" I looked at him calmly. "Because I wanted you to respect me before you respected what I owned." Those words made the room completely silent. Emily looked embarrassed. She finally understood that she had judged my life without knowing my story. She apologized. She said she was wrong, and I accepted her apology. But I also told her something I will never forget. Respect should never come after discovering someone has value. Respect should come first. That day, I did not feel happiness because someone else felt embarrassed. I felt peace because I finally knew the truth had been seen. As I grew older, I learned that people often look at what is visible and ignore what is hidden. They see an old house, an old car, an old person, and they assume there is nothing left. But they forget something. Years create wisdom. Experience creates strength. And a quiet person may be carrying more than anyone realizes. My daughter-in-law laughed at my empty warehouse. She believed she knew my story. But she only saw the outside. She never understood what was waiting inside. And that was her biggest mistake. Family Karma Effect viewers, our channel currently has only 37 subscribers, and our next goal is to reach 50 subscribers. So please support us by subscribing to our channel.